Welcome to Assembly V1.1. This assembly provides live monthly meetings with video broadcasts, as well as a chat room so all members can interact in real time. There is also an upcoming lecture series in which all members of the SAM are invited to attend. Can't make it to the meeting or lecture live? No worries, as all of it will be archived so it can be seen on demand for any active member of the society. The cost of all this? It's free for all members of the Society of American Magicians.
Hi everyone, welcome to the September meeting of Assembly V1.1. I'm Jeff Quinn, President of the Society of American Magicians. Tonight we have a treat for you. Bruce Kalver, he writes one of my favorite columns in MUM, Tech Tricks. I always get something fantastic out of his columns. Hey, in case you haven't heard about it, we have a brand new membership initiative called Get Just One. It's our challenge to you to bring just one person into the SAM in the next 10 months. The more members we get, the stronger we are as a society. So talk to your magic friends and anyone else you know who has an interest in magic and see if you can't bring them into the SAM family. Hey, enough from me. You're here to learn some cool stuff from Bruce. So thanks for coming to this meeting of Assembly V1.1.
Welcome everybody to Assembly V1.1. I'm Joel Zaritsky. I'm the North Atlantic Regional Vice President. And
hey everybody, John Midgley here. Kind of running some things behind the scenes. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this lecture. Before we get to that, though, we just want to talk a little bit about this assembly, V1.1, is really for and about you guys, the members. So next month, October 16th, Sunday, John, why don't you talk a little bit about what's happening then?
What we want to do next month is to have a real live interactive meeting, just like you would at your local assembly. So if there was an effect that you wanted to teach or maybe a routine that you were working on, you could send that in. Sorry, my daughter's outside. I'm hearing screaming in the background, so that's why I'm stuttering. She's okay though, folks. But the idea is that in a judgment-free zone, you can share your routine that you're working on, get some true feedback, and just engage. So if you guys want to give something or teach an effect, or really, we're open to whatever you want to send us. You can email Joel or myself, and then we'll compile it all together. We'll let you know if we're going to be using that content for that meeting, just so that you're aware. And then I'll make sure that I put our emails in the chat room as well.
Absolutely. So basically we want to keep it to about 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes really being the maximum. And it can either be teach a trick, show a trick and teach a trick, or if you have a performance that you'd like to do a critique on, you can also submit that. Because remember, this is a judgment-free zone. We're all friends here there too. So just like you go to a regular assembly meeting, it's to make you a better magician. And I'll be putting my email in there as well in the chat room. So the only thing is you need to get the videos by Friday, October 8th, because it's going to take a while for us to put this all together by the 16th. So you have until Friday, October 8th to send us those videos. So please do. We'd love to see as many people as possible doing this.
We want to see what you're up to, and we want to learn from you too. So
yes, absolutely. So you guys you've come here for man of the hour. So let's get right to him. And this is somebody who I've known for quite a long time and who brought this that I use in just about every single show, and I love. Our tech guru, our tech wizard, Mr. Bruce Kalver. Take it away.
There he is.
Hey. You know, I was going to start today, because being the first lecturer, and I'm very excited about that, I was going to start setting the standard. And I was going to come out of my room with my robe on and say, wait, is that tonight? But I didn't want to do that to all of you, so we'll do it that way. So hello everyone, welcome to my office. This is my office. That red curtain is not always there. It's there for my wife's privacy, so she can get back and forth. You know, it's one of those things. I can't, right now I see we have 33 people on here, and that is more than we get at the local assembly, so congratulations guys, you did great. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to put them down, type in, and I'm happy to answer them for you. I don't know what we're going to do tonight per se, other than I'll answer any question you want. June marked my 50th year of doing magic, 50th year of performing magic. I did magic long before that, but 50th year of performing. So I have a tech trick that I want to talk about, and I have a performance that I did last Tuesday that the guys have a video of, and something weird happened during the performance, and I'll talk about that and explain that to you. In fact, we'll get to that in a few minutes. I notice, so I have about 800 pages of stuff here that I can talk about. But if you have a question about anything tech, feel free to put it up there, and I'll do it. How about my opening? You want to know what my opening is? All right. Joel asked what the opening of my act is whenever I perform. And I've been doing the same opening for 50 years now. And I learned this opening when I was 10 years old from my grandfather. And it was the opening that he used in his act. And this is what the opening is. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bruce Kalver. Tonight I'm going to show you a few originations in the simple arts of legerdemain, prestidigitation, necromancy, and thaumaturgy. And now that you know exactly what I'm going to do, let's begin. That's my opening. A 10-year-old didn't even know what those words were about, and then come to find out 50 years later, I am doing those things in the act. So if you want to see what my demeanor is when I perform, in fact, John and Joel, if you want to play that video clip, this is, and let me explain what this is. This is Tuesday night, the Community College of Rhode Island. When I went there, it was Rhode Island Junior College. It was a college. And I studied theater there. And that's where I met the man that introduced me to my wife and so forth. It was a wonderful theater college, very, very high esteemed in the area. And they just did a renovation of the theater, and they just inaugurated their new president. Now, the past 5 presidents were not interested in the arts at all, so they were kind of snubbed a lot. But this president seems to be into the arts, which is a wonderful thing. So they had a celebration of the arts. They had various people come and perform for her that go to the school. And they had me as a special guest at the end to, as an alumni or alumnus, to come back and perform. So if you want to show that clip, let's show that clip, okay?
I'd like to teach you a magic trick. This is my 50th year of performing magic, seriously. And yeah, I know, and it all started here in this theater right here. This theater hasn't changed much. Still a black floor, okay. All right, so here's the trick. I'm going to show you the trick first, and I'll teach you how to do it, okay? So what you need is a neatly wrinkled white handkerchief. And what you do is you push the handkerchief in your hand like this, you give it a little shake, and when it comes out the other side, it turns red. Not bad, right? It's called the color-changing handkerchief from white to red. I don't hear any applause. Look good from back there, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I'm going to teach you how to do this. Magician's Code of Ethics and everything at CCRI celebration. Here we go. You won't remember. I'll hypnotize you. It'll be great. All right. So what you need are 2 handkerchiefs. neatly wrinkled white, neatly wrinkled red, okay? You make a fist and you push the handkerchief in your hand like this, making sure it doesn't come out the bottom. This is called palming. Everybody say palming. Palming. Excellent. You don't want to open this hand. You want to keep this hand. Here, I don't want to drop that. Leave it right there. Okay. You don't want to open this hand because you'll reveal what you're palming in the hand. And if you do that, they'll see everything. So you have to keep it closed. All right. All right. So now, yeah, don't open this hand. All right. All right. So now you can't say, "Come on over," because you're palming that thing, and you can't do this because that would be silly. So what you do is, when your friends are coming by, you go, "Hey, come on over. I want to show you a trick." They won't suspect a thing. You know, it's all right. So what you do is you take the white handkerchief and you push it in your hand like this, and you give it a little shake, and when it comes out the other side, because you were palming the red one, it turns red again, okay? All right. Am I going too fast for the guys in the back? Okay, good. All right. Now, there's one thing you have to watch out for. Just one thing. This right here. This is called stopping halfway. It's a technical term. I don't want to get too technical for you guys. You don't want to stop halfway for too long, because if you do, you end up with a half-dyed handkerchief, and that's not a good thing. So thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened the other night, and we'll do it from there. Thank you. Thanks, Alex. So, as you know, that's the McCombs half-dyed color-changing handkerchiefs. I do a couple little different things there. And here's what happened. It uses 2 dye tubes, but I forgot to bring one. I forgot to bring a dye tube. So it was about an hour before the show, and I was backstage, and I was watching everybody getting ready, and I'm running to the bathroom. Maybe I could use a toilet paper roll or something like that to create a makeshift one. And then I saw someone eating these in the back. You know what these are, right? The M&Ms? The M&M minis that are here? Right. And I made this. Here, I'll show you. Let's get closer here so you can see. Okay? I did it right on the fly. I did it in 5 minutes. And I always have in my bag this, which is surgical tape for a different reason. And I just wrapped it around this, which made it feel a little different. So that was my emergency dye tube. Now, interesting fact about this: if you notice here, if you buy one of these at CVS or whenever you need it, the bottom half is smaller in diameter than the top half. So all you have to do is cut the top, cut the bottom, cut the middle, and then just fuse them together. They fit together. And I found from the Scene Shop piece of ribbon, and that made my dye tube. And then I took surgical tape and I put it around there. So that was my emergency dye tube. This is my real dye tube, and they're not much different with each other. But if you want to create a dye tube for yourself, M&Ms are the way to go. Okay? Any questions on that? It's a quick and easy dye tube, isn't it? And you didn't notice the difference when I did the act, because it was just, you know, you didn't notice it. Now, one thing I do when I do the trick, when I set up the trick, yes, and it is tasty too, I learned something very important when doing this trick. And that is, and people know this, but they forget this. When you're going to put it in the dye tube, see this? You want to have this extended. You want this up like that and push it in the dye tube. That's your first spot. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, so it'll pop up when you take it out. So I'll show you. So if I put all this in, and then I do the color change with the white handkerchief here. So I'm here, and I do the color change like this, and it comes out the other side, okay? When I reach the end here, and I'm going to reach the end, and I put my finger in like this to take it out, you'll notice this pops up. If you didn't have that little tail to push in the first time, that wouldn't pop up. You'd end up looking like this. And that's not a good thing. So let me show you again. This is like the most important thing. And that is, you put the tail in first. Right? That's right, Dana. I showed this to the kids, and then I got to utilize it, didn't I? At the first WOW convention. This is how we did. So we have it here. So I start like this. I show the scarf, I show my hand, I show the scarf, I show my hand. Now I've got the dye tube here. We all know this part. All right, but my most important tip is when you push this through and you do this, and you go here, and you do this. At the end, when you take that out, you notice it always pops up, right? Do I take the dye tube out straight or up at an angle? So here's the dye tube. It's here. You'll see it from the back now. I do not take it up straight. I do it at an angle. So my last finger goes in. Here's how it works. My finger goes in, and it comes up. Can you see that? Like that. Okay? So, and I will tell you that is from, I used to do it straight up, and it was obvious. And you're absolutely right, Joe. So when you push it down and you take it out, it's just such a natural move, because once you take it out and you're at that angle, I can now rub this, switch hands. The dye tube stays in the hand with the scarf, and I can show this one empty. Right? So there you go. Now, the other suggestion I have is find two different dye tubes. Because this is the one that's going to have the color change in it, the half-dyed. Okay? So when they're in your pocket, you want to feel the difference. And there's two ways to feel the difference. One is get two different dye tubes, right? And the other is, on one of the dye tubes, if you wrap it with a Band-Aid, you'll feel the difference, because it'll have that little bump in the middle. And so you can tell the difference between the two. Let me check these questions here. Do you take dye? Okay, you're right. Have you ever seriously botched, such as dropping the dye tube? I have never. No, thanks. I shouldn't even say this now. See, you're gonna jinx me. I have never dropped a dye tube, ever. And I think it's because of that angle, which is what Joe was talking about. So here, let me put it in right. You always have that. You try that, and you will see how every time it pops up. It pops up. And the last one, you roll. So it goes in like that. I've been doing this trick for close to 50 years now. Close to 50 years. So if you want to see me do this again, I'll do it here. I start here with the dye tube in this hand. Dye tube's here. Okay? And now as I rub, the dye tube is now going in my other hand like this. Show this hand empty. And now I'm ready to do the back here. Ready to do it. So now, push this in. I don't want to take the whole hour on this, but, and now it's coming out, right, like that. I always pause for a second like this so they see that at the end. It looks a little familiar. And then I do it again here, and now the last one. So here we go, slow motion. Down, lift it out, right there. You notice this popped up again, right? And then I grab this, pull it out of my hand, and there. So I've never dropped it because my finger is always in it. Well, there you go. My finger's always in it. It's never out of it until I put it in my pocket. Okay? So there you go. There's the dye tube. Okay? But my two biggest hints is the tail and wrapping a Band-Aid around one of them, so in your pocket you can feel the difference between the two. Does anyone have any questions on my little tips on the dye tube? I can help you with that. It's a terrific little trick because look at how much space it takes up. Nothing. And you get 5 minutes out of it. Billy McComb is one of my go-to guys. His book, in fact, back there are some of the books that are my go-to books. And the first one, the red one there, is McComb's Magic. I'll let you figure out what the others are. Maybe you know. But that's, yeah, Half and Half Died. That's all Billy McComb, and that's a great way to do it. Okay. So now, okay, that's a great question that's coming up here if you're noticing it. All right. So before I get into a couple of apps that I've discovered, and before I answer your question, Magic Lou, I want to talk about next month. You guys are going to be doing, if you want, critiques, and I want to give you a little tip that I learned from acting class. I have a degree in acting from the Rhode Island Junior College, and one of the things they told us, because you would perform a scene and then the rest of the class would critique. And one of my teachers, Bert Silverberg, who still critiques and looks at my act, talked about something called PASA. And what PASA is, and in fact, I'll write that so you can see. I don't know if I can get it on there. Okay, let's see. PASA. They stand for four things. The first thing you do after someone gives a performance is praise. That's the P. You talk about the positive things about the performance. All the positives. Okay? Yeah, praise. Then the second thing is you ask questions. You ask questions. You don't praise and then say, however, or but. You ask questions. You question the choices that you felt were not quite right in the person's performance. You say, like for example, you would say, so what made you decide to wear a dress when you played Hamlet? You know, that kind of thing. You ask the questions. That's what the A is, ask questions. The third thing would be suggest. After you ask the questions, and maybe they can justify what they did, you can then suggest and give suggestions that may improve the performance. Right? And then the last thing is applause. Always acknowledge a performance effort, whether it's good or bad. So that's what PASA is. Praise, ask questions, suggest, and applause. And I just offer that out to you because if you become defensive from listening to someone's critique about you, it doesn't help you. And every critique is an interesting critique. You don't have to accept it. It depends on if you have respect from the person that's giving it to you. If the person that's giving it to you you respect, then take it. And if they don't respect you, earn the respect. So there you go. So that's the correct way to give notes on a performance. So maybe next month when you have to critique, or in your clubs when you do that sort of thing, or a workshop or whatever. We did this in the SYM meetings at the national conventions, and it really made a difference. It really, really did a lot. All right, so now John and Joel have not prearranged anything with me. I will say that. And so if one of you wants to get back on, I want to do a trick for you. Okay? I want to talk about an app. And we talked about this app at the national convention. So, okay, Joel, if you want to get on, we'll do this. And of course, nobody's gonna believe that we didn't set this up ahead of time, right? So let me put my headphones on.
We did not set this up.
And then, so Joel, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Okay, now how come I can't hear you? The tech guy can't hear you, so let me see if I'm plugged in.
Can everybody else hear me?
Here. Let me try it again. Are you there?
Thanks.
Oh, I think I heard you now. Okay. So Joel, we have not prearranged this in any way, right?
Right.
Okay. And this is going to be hard to do on here right now, but we'll see what we can do. So I made a picture earlier today. I created a picture earlier today. And the people that are in the room right now, I want you to just name one of them. And hold on. The person that you name has to have a phone handy that I can email them something. Okay? Oh, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to do it to you, Joel. All right?
Okay. Sure.
Because you have a video. So do you have a phone with you?
Yes.
Okay. And we promise you that he does not have a setup where you didn't talk about this before, right? Okay. So Joel, what is your email? This is a good chance to tell everybody.
Yeah. JIZDDS@optonline.net.
Okay, I am sending you this picture. Now, I don't want you to open it, okay? I don't want you to open it. I just want you to tell me. Okay, I don't need that anymore. I want you to tell me when you get that email. All right? Might be slow. So.
Okay, just got an email.
You just got
yes.
it? Can you hold it up and show us what it looks like over there? Don't open it up, though.
Open it up?
Do not open it. Yeah.
Do not open until told, yes.
So we can see it? It's there, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, and what's the title of it? Don't open it up, but what's the title of it?
Do not open until told.
Right, so do not open until told, okay? All right? So now, Joel, if you were in an audience, I would have you select someone in the audience. So can you see someone that's texting to us here, anybody at all, and select them?
Lou Johnson.
All right, Lou Johnson. Hi, Lou Johnson. Thanks for coming tonight. Lou, we haven't prearranged anything, right? Okay. Lou, I want you to think of a number between 1 and 100, a number that's significant to you, a number that means something to you. Think of it, okay? Let me know when you have it. All right, good. Now remember, Joel, I sent you that email, and you have that email on your phone, right?
Right.
So it is yours. It is done. The email contains the picture. All right, Lou, I want you to give me the number between 1 and 100. What is it? Really? Now, why of all numbers would you pick 55? What possible reason would you go with 55? There you go. Okay. I hope you can read my handwriting, because earlier today, I took a picture of myself in the living room, and now I want you to open that up and take a look at that email. Can you hold it up so that they can see it? I don't know if they can see it or not. What is it? Can you see it?
It says 55. It's Bruce holding the card, and it says 55 on it.
There you go. There you go.
That's great.
Not bad, huh? Not bad
like
at all. So, okay.
I'll get off. Thank you.
Okay. So that's the trick. Now, we did not prearrange that in any way, okay? I did this at the SAM convention, and I got an immediate response. And it was unbelievable the number of people that downloaded it immediately while I was talking about it. Now, in fairness to the guy that created it, I'm not going to reveal it to you, okay? It's a $30 trick. It's $29. And I have to say, I got a standing ovation for it. I got unbelievable response from people. And I'm going to probably be adding it to my act at the Magic Castle in a couple weeks. The name of the trick, if you want to write it down, is called 21st Century Prediction. 21ST, 21st Century Prediction. Okay? I'll write it down. You gonna write it down? Thank you, John. You're a good secretary. Okay. 21st Century Prediction. It is $29. It is available on the iTunes App Store. It's soon to be available on the Google Store. And it is an incredible thing. So I wrote about it twice in my column. And the last, I'm not sure if it published this month or not, but because I'm always a couple months ahead. But there are a couple of things you have to know if you decide to do this trick, okay? First of all, it doesn't look like an app. And we'll get back to Lou's question in a minute. This is one of those that doesn't look like a tricky app that has no skill. All it looks like is I emailed them something. And that's what I love about apps, certain apps, that if they don't look like they're part of a magic trick, they're a great app to me. And if they do look like a magic trick, create a routine so it doesn't look like that. So on 21st Century Prediction, a couple of things you have to know. The guy went overkill on the instructions, so they're a little confusing. But here's a tip for you. If you have it, or you're going to get it, number one, wait until the person gets the email before you go on. There's a couple reasons for that. One reason is if he doesn't get the email, it's going to ruin the whole trick because you're never going to see the ending. All right? And mechanically, you have to wait for that. That's really important. And number two, practice. I mean, really practice. And it will go beautifully. So there you go. Do you have any questions about it? I'm happy to answer any questions about it. I did not create the effect, but I think it's one of my top 5 apps that I use on my thing. Are there easier instructions for it somewhere? I have written a set of instructions, and I sent them to the creator. And I said, I hope you do this, put this in as quick instructions. And we'll see what happens. If not, then I'll figure out a way to offer it. If you see me at a convention or at a meeting and you want to show me that you have the trick, I'll email you those instructions. All right? If you want to show me, take a picture of the screen of the trick or something like that and write to me, then I'll send you the instructions for it. I had a guy, and I don't know if he's here, but he read about it in my column. He downloaded it, and then he demanded from Apple his money back because he couldn't figure it out. He said it was a terrible trick, it doesn't work, and so forth. And I wrote back to him and I said, please give it a second chance. And I wrote a few details for him and said, it really is a great trick, and you're missing out if you don't do it. So he looked at it again. He wrote back to me and he said, I took a second look at it. It's fantastic. No, you need to do a smartphone. So the trick is $29 plus $700 for a smartphone. Okay? Joe, there you go. All right. And that Star Trek flip phone, it's time to move on from it. It really is. So iPod or iPad will work, yeah. However, iPod or iPad, you're going to need Wi-Fi to work, right? Chuck Lair, even you can do it. Yep, even you can do it. Nice to see you, Chuck Lair. An amazing man who did a lot of work for the SAM for many years. No, Magic Lou, not just numbers. It can be a word. It can be whatever you want. It is the modern day, yeah. It is the modern day version of a Swami gimmick, really, when you think about it. It is the 21st century version of a Swami. So, I used to do a similar trick with a thumb writer. Don't need to do that anymore. And I'll tell you what else is great about this. When you get that email, not only do they have the ending of the trick, and I do this at cocktail parties. I stop everyone and I do the trick. But that person walks around the room and shows everybody that thing. And it's got my contact information on that email and a thank you note to the person. And the app stores their emails, so you can write to them afterwards and thank them for helping you and send them your promotional material. So all around, it's great. To answer your question, Jay, no, one person only. One person only. A big name person in Vegas is doing a very similar trick, and I saw, and I think it's two independent people coming up with a similar idea. Their version, when the big name person does it, it goes to the whole audience. This is not that. Same trick, but only to one person. And if you wanted to send it to everybody in the audience, you would have to copy everybody. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Okay? So I think it's a terrific trick, 21st century prediction. And there you go. Any other questions on it? Oh, looking around. Yeah. I'm curious, Magic Lou, did that seem like a very natural trick? Yeah, see, that's a little different. And yes, Steve, you can do it with an accomplice, too. You can do that. So if your wife is in the audience, no problem. Okay? It's fantastic. I wish he charged more for it. I wish he charged $100 for it. Because a lot of people are going to start doing it, and they're not going to practice it. They're going to give it away. And it's such a clever trick that they're going to start showing it to other people. And it's so very, very straightforward. So there you go. So that's that. Somebody asked me, a local magician asked me about, when I do my sponge balls, what am I doing? What am I putting on the table to keep them from rolling off? And I want to show you these. I can never put these in my column. Do you know what these are? Can anybody tell me before I tell you? Anyone know what these are? Any guesses? Oh, that's a cute idea. No, they're not lens caps. Nope. Or contact lens cases. Nope. These are, I got these in Chinatown in San Francisco. They're egg holders. They're egg holders. And they happen to be perfect to hold sponge balls. You see? And so I just put two of these on my table, and every time they put it in their hand, when it's time to put it back, they put them back on the egg holders. But they work great. Little tip for you. Okay? So what do you want to talk about? What else do you want to talk about? Yeah, 35 millimeter canister caps are good. These have little legs on the bottom. See the little legs? So they don't move around or tip over. They're just high enough, and they just do the job. So there you go. Headphones and speakers that I like? Really? Headphones and speakers. Why do you want to know about headphones? Of course I'm going to say Beats, because I work for Apple. They gave us these headphones. So. Your mic. Yeah, I think he means the mic, too. Yeah. Everybody talks about this mic. When I put this in my... yeah. Okay. When I put this in my column, it was one of the early columns, it got such great response. This is the Samsung Airline Micro. Samsung Airline Micro. And it's the only mic I use. And it's the mic I use for, this is the one you put on your ear. Okay, yep, Sam. S-A-M-S-O-N. S-A-M-S-O-N. And here's the receiver. Here's the receiver. It's about the size of a Tic Tac box. And amazingly, like Tuesday night, that clip that you saw, there's the little, call it my favorite Martian antennas. Okay. Here's the, and Tuesday night, the microphone that I was using that you heard that show in was this mic. And I always go up to the sound guys and ask them to plug this in, and they all roll their eyes like, what the heck is this thing? And at the end of the show, they always come up to me and say, what was that thing you were using? So always clear, always good, never has a problem with feedback or anything like that. And I always carry all the adapters just in case. And there you go. So let me see here. There was something else I wanted to show you in here if I can pull it out. This and this. I thought I had another one. Nope, I guess not. So that's my favorite mic. So these cost a lot of money, and what they were created for were aerobics instructors, so they could plug into anywhere. And so there are a lot of unemployed aerobics instructors, so you can find them on eBay for between $150 and $200. No, it's not Samsung. It's Samson. S-A-M-S-O-N. Okay? And they're between $150, $175, $200. Okay? And that's my favorite mic. Whenever you see me lecture or perform, that's the one I use. So there you go. Yeah, I know. John, when you told us at the convention they sold out on eBay instantly. Yeah, I know. But there's lots of unemployed aerobics instructors, so you'll see them. They periodically show up. You can buy a new one for about $250. But why not? Look around eBay. They come in about 6 different channels, and they're great. They're absolutely terrific. There was another app I wanted to tell you about. By the way, the SAM app works on iOS 10, thank goodness. Good camera for recording broadcasts and instructional clips. Boy, how about the iPhone? Great camera. Seriously, great camera, and lots of holders for it. I will tell you that at the Orchard where I work, that's what we use for every recording. I mean, it's 4K video now. So nobody uses camcorders anymore. They use these. So what other questions do you have? Yeah, so the Magic Sam app works great. Are any of you using Magic Gigs Clips? I don't know if any of you use it. It's the app I created to book shows. And that also is still working on iOS 10. So there you go. Let's see, what do we have here? In the ongoing effort to pack small and play big, do you recommend manually splitting the growing and shrinking disc? Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about the growing and shrinking head. All right. So and I'll tell you the best way to do it. Okay. The growing and shrinking head was invented by Aristotle way back when he looked at a waterfall, and then he looked at some rocks, and the rocks moved. The Aristotle effect. So the State of Rhode Island Board of Education called me many years ago and said, we have a grant for an amount of money, enormous amount of money. If you have a magic show about optical illusions and eye safety, do you have such a show? And I paused and I said, of course I do. And I thought, all the magic I do are optical illusions. And I said, what do you need? And they said, well, you need to create a teacher's guide, and you have to show some optical illusions and perform. And so I did some research for the teacher's guide. And in a 1929 science book, school science book, I saw this little spiral about this big. It was on the page there. And it talked about the Aristotle effect. So I photocopied it, and I put it on a record player. And I watched it spin around, and I looked at my dog, and my dog went, boom, like that. And I went, oh, I got something now. So I called Larry White. Some of you may remember the amazing Larry White, who was the magic editor of MUM magazine. And Larry White was also one of the designers of the Museum of Science exhibits. So he's my go-to science guy. And I asked him about it. He said, oh, yeah, the Aristotle effect. Yeah, well, if you're going to make a disk, you got to make sure it's this, and you got to make sure it's that. There's a lot of details about that disk. And about 15 designs later, we now have the growing and shrinking head illusion. And that's the one that we sell now. We have 2 or 3 people that have ripped it off and tried to copy it, but they didn't do it right, and they don't work as well as mine. They have to be black and white. They can't be red. They can't be flexible. A lot of reasons. But in any case, so when we first put it out, because we couldn't figure out how to make it spin cheaply, we put a hole in the middle of it, and we put it on a pencil, and we put a pencil topper on there, and we just spun it like that. And it only took like 3 spins to get it to go for 60 seconds. And it had like a grommet in the middle, so that when it spun, it would just keep spinning and keep spinning and keep spinning. So that was the original way we did it. Then we had a lighting company that sold disco lights and equipment, and they had these stands that you could spin, and that's the stand that you see me use when I perform, and you see the video if you want to YouTube it from the comedy festival. That's the stand that I use. And we bought every one they had. They must have had 300 stands. We bought them all, and they're gone now. We can't get them anymore. We're trying to reproduce them right now, but it's very hard to do. And then I'll tell you a funny story that I haven't told before. There were these silver. I was in a Kmart. And I saw, it was the end of the summer, and they had these silver fans. And they were like half price. And I looked at it and I said, well, gee, the spiral might fit on there, and I could have made these special buttons to put on the front of the spiral that would stick it to the thing. And then I could take them all apart, and instead of plugging them into the wall, I could make them battery operated. There's a lot of work involved in it. So I said to the guy that was working there, how many of these fans do you have? And he looked it up and he said, I got 87 of them. And I said, I'll take them all. And he went, okay. And he went back and he brought like carriages of them out to me, and never once asked me why I would need that many fans. So he's helping me put them in the car, and finally he says, so what do you need all these fans for? And I said, I'm hot. And he went, oh. And that was it. He believed me. And then I said, wait a minute. There are 4 other Kmarts around here. Can you check and see how many more fans? And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I went around to all the Kmarts and I got all the fans. And I spent the next 3 months taking them all apart, redoing them all. And those are the silver stands that some people have. And now we came up with the idea of using the cordless screwdriver. And then Kaplan, the great, I saw him at the Combined Convention in 2008. And he praised me about coming out with the spiral. And he said, you should see the thing I'm using to spin the spiral. And he ran up to his room and he came down and he came up with this crank that was brilliant. I wish I had thought of it. And essentially you spin it like 3 or 4 or 5 times and it goes for a minute. And that's it. So they're called Kaplan's cranks. You can get them from him or you can get them from me on the Top Hat website. And so if you're going to want to do it by hand, use that hand crank. If you come up with another way of doing it, let me know. We'll be happy to talk to you about it. But the 2 best ways I find is to use the cordless screwdriver, not a drill. Because a drill, thanks JR, because the drill is overkill. It's too much for the small spiral. But I saw someone use a cordless screwdriver, a little Black & Decker cordless screwdriver, and he took a microphone stand and he put a clamp, he jerry-rigged a clamp to screw on the microphone stand. And so when he put the cordless screwdriver and opened the clamp, he pressed the button. And yes, and it continued to spin. And then when he turned the electric screwdriver, it went from forward to reverse to go the other way. So that was a really clever way of doing it. And I may write that up and put it in a column in the future. Okay? IKEA sells a terrific cordless screwdriver. Dan, did you get one there? They're black, so they blend in beautifully. And I think, how much are they, Dan? They're like $10 or $12. And they're in the tools section, which is like 5 things in IKEA. And I recommend that black one because it's a little slower than the ones that they sell in the U.S. And you don't want it going too fast, because if it starts blurring, they don't see that pattern. They need to see the pattern. So this one I think runs at 150 or 200 revolutions per minute, and that's just what you need. That's just what you're looking for. There's a lot of science in that thing. I also see some wonderful people performing it, and then I also see some horrible performances of it, some really bad performances. And I'll tell you a couple of tips on that, and that is, when you do it, even though you're counting backwards from 10 to 1, you're really counting backwards from 45 seconds to a minute. Okay? From 45 seconds to a minute. So when I do it, here's how I count backwards. I say, are you ready? Everybody stare at the spiral. 10. Now don't look away from the spiral. 9. Keep staring at it. You want to get that whole effect like you're looking through a tunnel. 8. I'm not going to hypnotize you, I promise. 7. And you keep filling it up. And by the time you finish, you're at a minute. I recommend, if you want to see it, how I do it, go to YouTube, put my name in, and you'll see it there growing. Put in Bruce Kalver, you'll find it. And watch how I count it down. Because you want them to be, number one, looking at that for at least 45 seconds to a minute. 2, at least 6 to 10 feet away. All right, because the further away you are, the better it works. People in the back row are getting a better view of it than the front row. And 3, if you're going to do it on a screen, on a big screen, a prominent magician asked me about this because he said, we put it on the big screen and it didn't work. It has to be the same distance away. So you don't want to zoom in on it and show it on the big screen. You want to show it from a distance away. Okay? And no, they won't be sick because they're senior citizens or anything like that. I have never had anybody get sick from looking at it. Those that are afraid of it, now there are some people who are afraid that you are going to hypnotize them, so they're not going to concentrate on it, and it's not going to work for them. Okay? If you know the science behind it, there's nothing in there that's going to make them sick. All right? Does anyone become sick because of it? Tip on using the black stand version. Do you have the black stand version? Guess 5726. Yeah. Oh, okay. The original ones, huh? Wow, good for you. And you turn it around, right? Is that right? Instead of going the opposite direction? Yeah. So you have to use the cardboard one because we printed on both sides. I'll tell you a funny story about the cardboard ones. We had the guy print 500 of them, and he thought he'd be helpful, and he printed it the opposite way on the back. Doesn't work. Comes out the same. So, JR, somebody ripped us off and put it on the iPhone at one point. I don't know if it's still there, and it doesn't work as well. You know. 5726, I always give it a spin to start it off. Yep, I always just give it a spin, and it starts it going, and then it slows it down to the right speed. Make sure your batteries are real good. I'm working the Magic Castle, 7 days. I change the battery every night. It's a little overkill, but I want to make sure it's at the right speed. I actually change the batteries every 4 or 5 shows to make it work. Those treat your black stand well, because you can't get them anymore. I have 2 left, and they're mine. So if the battery pack ever breaks on yours, send it back to me, and I'll replace it, because I have a new battery pack that closes. Okay. I'm really thrilled that trick went very well, and I'll tell you how we sold that trick. I wasn't going to put it out. I was going to keep it. And one day we needed the roof fixed. And that was that. So I thought it would die down after a while, but it's still going strong. And I'm amazed. It's been many years since that item came out. And we now have a folding one. For years we were trying to figure out, I'm looking around to see if I have one here to show you, but I can't get to it. For years, we were trying to figure out how to make a folding one. And we've seen people that have ripped us off that have put out a folding one that folds up this way, you know, like on cloth, like pops open, and they don't work as well. They just don't work as well. And we figured out a way. So we took our spiral, our 15-inch spiral, and we cut them in half. And when we cut them in half, we have a special cloth tape. It looks like duct tape, but it's not. Like a special cloth tape, and we have a special 3M glue that we put on the tape and we fuse onto the 2 sides. Now, that's fine. For years we had trouble because it kept flopping like this. Well, we used science again, and we realized if we put a bigger washer in the middle, it's like putting your 2 hands here and holding it together, and it doesn't flop anymore. So it comes with a bigger washer on both sides and a cut spiral. So the folding ones fit in a backpack, they'll fit in a briefcase, and they'll fit in any case now. So the ones that don't fold, I always recommend a pizza box. But funny story, we ship them out to people in pizza boxes. And we used to have it on the outside, hot, fresh pizza. And the letter, the post office used to say to me, "Oh, you're delivering another pizza, delivering another pizza." And we sent it out to someone, and I won't say who, and we got it back. And I called him. I said, why didn't you accept it? He goes, "We never got it." I go, "You did. It was in a pizza box." "Oh, you sent a pizza box? I don't accept anything that looks like it's a pizza you're delivering to me." And so he had to pay to have it sent back to him again. It was kind of weird, you know? A lot of fun things there. No, we did 15 designs before we put it out. I was doing shows for schools, and for this science thing, and every time we improved it and improved it and improved it. First time I did it, a handful of people saw the head grow. by the time I finished that 2-year run, we were doing great. We were doing great. So no, the ones you have are fine. If it's getting a little ratty, sure, I'm happy to have you get another one. Why not? So there you go. Let's see what else. So now, Tom, you asked about what motor to use, and now we've told you to go to IKEA. Any other questions on that? Wow. It's an amazing little trick. You don't have to do anything but count backwards. I had a call from Japan Television, a television station in Japan. They wanted to fly me to Japan, and they wanted to just have me do the trick and then fly right back. I said, no. Use the video. Use the video. You want to show the video? You can. You're welcome to. This was at the Rhode Island Comedy Festival when I was a lot heavier. I was the only magician at the Rhode Island Comedy Festival.
All right. No, I'm not going to hypnotize you. Don't worry. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. All right, here's what I need you to do. This is the world's greatest magic illusion, but it will only work if you try, okay? So you have to follow my instructions exactly, and you will see an amazing miracle. So here's what I need you to do, and adults try this. I think you'll enjoy it too. What I need you to do is stare at the spiral. Now you want to get that tunnel effect, like you're going through a tunnel there. Get the whole effect of the spiral. I'm going to count backwards from 10 to 1. When I say 1, you're going to look at my nose. Not yet. Keep staring at the spiral, okay? Keep staring. Here we go. 10. Don't look away. You're going to want to look away. Don't look away. 9, 8. Keep staring. 7, 6. Oh, don't cry yet. It's better to come. 6, 5. Keep staring. 4. Get ready. 3. When I say 1, you're going to look at my nose. 2, 1. Look at my nose. Was that incredible? Did you see it? Wow. What happened? What happened? My head shrunk. It did not. Did it really? Really? My pain for your enjoyment? Wow. I need a boy to help. How about you? Come on up here a second. Give him a nice hand for volunteering. Come on up here. What's your step? What's your step? Hi! Your name is Recto Where? Nice to meet you. What do you call yourself for short?
Javon.
Oh, that's easier. Hi, Javon. Nice to meet you. How old are you?
11.
11 years old. The big 1-1. What do you want to be when you grow up? Taller?
Yeah.
Good idea, huh? All right. Well, can you stand perfectly still? This will be a real miracle, right, Dad? All right, here we go. So put your feet together, hands on your side, head up straight. Don't stand so close to the ground. Excellent. All right, stay right there. Now freeze. Don't move, okay? I will come and get you and tap your shoulders, but until then, don't move. Now look, they're going to make you laugh, okay? Don't laugh. Just stay right there. Ready? All right, if it didn't work for you the last time, it's because you looked away, you didn't concentrate. You got to really stare at that spiral. It's a little easier the second time. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. You will give us a standing ovation. 6, 5, 4. Get ready. Don't move. 3, 2, 1. Look at his nose. What happened? He has a big head. I think he looks great. Hey, thanks a lot. You were terrific. Give him a nice round of applause.
There you go. Passa. No, okay. There it is. Yeah, it works on there. You notice why it worked, because we kept a distance away. We didn't zoom in on that. Interesting. So there you go. That's you notice how long it took. It looks great on a black screen, black background, right? Okay. I'm looking down my list here of things to tell you. Oh, I want to tell you about my sub-trunk routine. Oh, go ahead. What do you want to know? If one stops the disc? No. Nope, doesn't change. Good question, Tom. Nope. So, guys, God, 50 years, huh? We had a couple of other spirals we were thinking about putting out, but they're not 100%, so we never put them out. But I'm still working on it. One day you might see another spiral. There's a scoop for you. Okay. This is not the same spiral that Jerry Anders used. His made your skin crawl and things like that. Different effect. Sort of like 4-ace tricks. Different effect, ultimate ending, optical illusion. So there you go. I'm looking at your questions. I don't want to pass you by. There you go. It's interesting that I want to say this before we run out of time too. That I've been doing magic for 50 years, and I trained from age 4, seriously, age 4 to age 10 before I actually did a performance. And then from 10, it went on forever. And I have to say that I feel that I'm at my peak, my best, only in the last, since 2008, 7, 8, is probably my best years. And at the Cape Cod Magic Festival, the OMI, which is a great convention, by the way, you should all go to it. Very homey convention. I was the host of a panel discussion with all the celebrities there. And it was interesting that I asked them, when do you feel you became your best? And most of them said, in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Not 20 years ago, not 15 years ago. And I think it's because you just keep gaining experience and experience as you go through it. I honestly feel that my radio experience, because I did a radio show for 18 years, helps me on stage. Because I can come up with answers to any quip, anything that comes up, any subject matter or anything that comes up. I can keep talking, as you can see tonight. But I think the radio experience helps. And by the way, a little tip for you. Those radio talk show people, the local ones, are begging for guests, So if you have a local talk show host in your area and you want some publicity, you call them up, you leave a message and say, I'm a birthday party performer, and I can give you the top 5 tips for having a successful birthday party, and I can tell you some great stories about performing for all the great kids in our area. And they will beg you to come on if you approach it the right way. But if you have something to offer like that, birthday party tips, they'll love you. What are the top 5 tips? Well, number 1 is hire a magician. Yeah, that would be number 1. Number 2 is have some activity. Yeah, there you go. Have some activity for them every moment. Do not say to them, just go in the back and play. That would be number 2. I have a list over here somewhere. Right? Can you guys think of any? You want to share some? Yeah, hire a magician would be the first one, because you're not a professional at taking and handling the children. Number 2 is have something planned for them every minute, right? Have the performance first. Don't have it last, because by then they'll be tired or sugared up or things like that. So that would be the next thing to say. That's 3 right there. You got another one for me? Hide the toys. That's funny. That's really funny. Right. Yeah, pets out of the room. Yeah. Those are little things that you put in your contract, right? By the way, October, perfect time to talk about National Magic Week. You're a member of the Society of American Magicians. It's another reason to go there, Yeah, go on before the cake, absolutely, before the food. You say that you use a lot of audience participation. You don't want their hands all dirty. You're using hundreds of dollars worth of equipment. Do not serve the food during the show. Wait till after the show, right? Start the show a half hour into the party, not on the part. If the party's from 1 to 5 or 1 to 3, you start the show at 1:30 or 1:45 to allow for the latecomers. And the other tip is, please have the parents in the room while you're performing. You're not a babysitter. Because they will enjoy it as much as the kids. Your job is to entertain. Their job is to make sure their children are angels. Right? When I'm interviewed by anyone, television, radio, I've been interviewed a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you have too. They love that I talk a lot because they don't have to come up with questions. And here's what I say to them, which always starts the interview. I say, can I tell you something before we start? And they always say, yeah, sure, go ahead. I want to tell you what my job is. Here's what my job is. I'm a magician. Do you know what a magician does? I'll tell you what a magician does. When you're 4 or 5 or 6 years old, 3, 4, 5, you have wonder, right? You have the tooth fairy, you have Santa Claus. Oh, there's a show for me. I'm gonna not take that call. No, I'm not gonna take that call. All right. So you have wonder in your life. You have the tooth fairy. You have Santa Claus. You have, the Easter Bunny, and so forth. You believe in fairy tales. You believe in wonder. And then when you get into middle school, the wonder goes away. Our job is to bring back that wonder for an hour. And that's what we do. And they all look at you and they go, wow, I never thought of it that way. And then they ask the questions, right? And then the other thing you say to them is, boy, are they trying to get a hold of me? Give me 1 second. I'm going to walk away and stop it, okay? Stay right where you are. I disappeared. I came back. That's funny. That's what happens when you have 3 different phone numbers. Okay. And the other thing I always say to them is, there are 15 possible things you can do in magic. Just like a juggler, you can only juggle 9 balls. When you hit 9, you're done, pretty much, because physics won't allow you to do anything. As a magician, there are 15 things you can do. Those 15 things are, things like appearance, disappearance, transformation, mind reading. You know them. They're all in Fitsky. And once you've learned 15 ways to do things, you can pretty much do any magic trick you want to do. And boy, does that open discussion. So those are the 2 things I say to any reporter. And there's one more thing. I'm a proud member of the Society of American Magicians. Now, saying that is not just to promote the Society of American Magicians. Saying that also shows that you're a professional, that you're a member of a very prestigious organization, the oldest magic organization. Houdini was president of it. Houdini took it nationally. And so by mentioning the Society of American Magicians, that's giving you some street cred. So always mention it. And make sure when you mention it that you say to them, let me see, do you have it right? The Society of American Magicians. Very prestigious club, and one that some great magicians belong to. You're helping yourself, you're helping the society. And when you go to England and you mention the magic circle, everybody in the street knows the magic circle. And when you say, I'm a member of the magic circle, they go, oh, there's some prestige there. Let's get that same prestige here in the United States with the Society of American Magicians. Agreed? Yeah. So there you go. So let me see, what did I miss? Yep. Okay, Chuck. Yeah, it's true. All right. So let me see, what else did I have here? Because we're going on. Somebody asked me about my sub-trunk routine. Somebody remembers my sub-trunk routine. Anyone here from Cleveland? Because that's where we did it, that most people saw it. So let me tell you about the sub-trunk routine. This is many years ago when we were younger. Arlene and I used to work on cruise ships. And we were hired to do a convention. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was in Cleveland, Ohio. A lot of technical problems there. But we wanted to do something different. And we came up with an idea. It was a crazy idea because we said, you know, we do the sub-trunk, we do the zigzag, we do the 5-blade cabin, we do the mismade curl. And they've all seen that. So we want to do something really different, right? And so here's what we came up with. I get into the bag and I get into the trunk. And Arlene stands on top holding the curtain. And she counts 1, 2, and she's still there. And she says, oh, let me try again. And she goes, 1, 2, and she's still there. And she says, I'm sorry, something's wrong. And she drops the curtain. She's standing on my back. The trunk has disappeared, vanished. It was an interesting reaction when we did it. So when we did it, here's what the audience did. She drops the curtain, she's standing on my back, and the audience went, huh? Oh, there was this 8-second lag or 10-second lag before they realized what had happened, and we had tricked them, we had fooled them. Well, this caused a real sensation, and we were booked for 2 or 3 or 4 other magic conventions, small conventions. And we did it around. What happens is after a while, they know what, what's going to happen. So that was it. So we did it for about a year. Got a great response. Boy, I spoke to Tony Spina and said, we should do this at Tannen's because we're only going to do this for a year. And he never booked us for it. And we stopped doing it. And about 2 years later at FISM, we heard that someone did it. That they took it. They did an homage to us. They borrowed it. And so I'm looking, if you have any teen or young magicians, that a husband or wife, a girlfriend, boyfriend, that would like to do this trick, the vanishing substitution trunk, have them contact me. We'll talk. I'll talk to them about some possible ways to do it. We had 3 different ways to do it, depending on the setting that we use, but it really set them up beautifully, and we had great reaction to it. All right, let's see, we're running out of time here. Let's see what we have here. What apps do I have to have on my iPhone? Let's see what's on my front page. Card Now, C-A-R-D Now, Card Now. Produce your business card. Card Now is a must. Magic Sam is a must because there are 3 magic tricks that are in there that are great. And Magic Shuffle is the 3rd. Those are the 3 I have on my front page, along with 21st Century Prediction. But Magic Shuffle is the brainwave deck, or the invisible deck. The invisible deck, a much easier way. Much easier way. So Card Now, which I believe is available for Android also. Magic Sam, the SAM app. I'll talk to you about, I know you're going to ask me about Android Magic Sam and Magic Shuffle. I hope that answers your question. No, Magic Lou, I have not performed it on the radio yet. Have you? That would be great. That would be really great. The Apple Watch, yes, I do use it for performing. I know you could, Lou. That's great. I use, and I know you're not going to be able to see it on here. If you can turn on the randomizer for the Magic Sam app looks like this. It's actually in, oh no, it's not time for me to stand. It's telling me it's time to stand. So there's a randomizer in here, and it does random cards every time you press, and it's in Cy Stebbins order. So I use it to have somebody randomly pick a card, and then it's found in my brainwave deck, the next card. You know, I know what the next card is and what the previous card is. And in the next column, I think in October, I show you how to set up a very quick and easy way to set up a Cy Stebbins deck, and how I use the watch. So watch for my column next month, and you can learn from that. Okay? What else you got here? You could, yep. What apps do you have on your iPhone? Can you recommend one that I can put in my column? I know we're starting to run out of time here. Any Android people out there? Oh, let's address Android and Magic Sam. The SAM app, I cashed in a lot of favors to get that SAM app going. I really love the new update on it. I think it's great. But in order for us to do it on Android, it's going to cost a few $1,000s. And we did a little survey to find out. I'm always doing a survey to see how many people have Android phones, and we can't justify it. Not yet, anyway. If you just get one more and you bring in a lot of people, then maybe we can justify it. So what I will say to you is, if you have an Android phone, write to me and just say, I have an Android phone, because I want to start taking count of how many people have it, and then we can do it. Do you know, every time you go to our website or anything else, we're tracking what phones are using it, what what operating system is using it, and so forth. And maybe 2% are Android, and a lot more, 80% are iPhones. So we can't justify it yet, but stay tuned. We'll see what we can do. What's that? Yes, all these apps work with iOS 10, no problem. Believe me, I sweat through that and hope it works. Any news regarding upcoming SAM Backstage podcast? Have you listened to the podcast that we did so far? They're a lot of work. They're a lot of work to do, but we got a lot of response about them, and I'm trying to make it. We're going to bring them back again. We're going to get some funding. We're going to bring them back, and we're going to put them on iTunes so that the public can do it. There's lots of stories I haven't gotten to yet. And if you haven't heard it, if you haven't heard it yet, you can go to magicsam.com and look for the podcast. The stories are fascinating. We actually had a magic convention out of the country, the first SAM magic convention, or the only SAM magic convention out of the country. Very interesting story. One person is still alive who went to that convention, and he tells the story. It's fascinating. I hope you like those stories. Andy Dallas did a terrific interview about when he did the upside-down helicopter escape. Check out their podcast. They're terrific. We hope to bring them back again. And let me see what you have here. I really like Balloonimals, too. I think it's a fun one. Let's see, what do you have here? You've got Marty's Magic Coin. Yep. And pull it out of the screen. That's a great one. Yes, I like the Magic Dog. That's a cool one. I would like to think that since one can install apps on Android without using an app store, we keep them more private. I'll be very candid with you, Libby. The problem is that there's only one flavor of Apple. And so those things don't crash very often. There are lots of flavors of Android. And it's a very difficult thing to write for Android. And I'm always asking Android users to submit apps to me to check out, because I have an Android phone here. I could check them out. And there are very few that are any good. There's a lot of crap apps out there. And you know it, because you see it. But, you know, there is hope. There is hope. What's this other one? Yeah, Card Now is great. And I'm going to tell you a funny thing that you can do with Card Now. I'm trying to remember who told me. Alan Watson told me this. He has Card Now, and he says to, when he goes to pay for stuff at stores, he goes to do Apple Pay. And when they say, oh, I don't accept Apple Pay, he does Card Now and pulls out his credit card. And I have actually done it and have had people not accept my credit card because they don't believe that it's a real credit card. So they're private messaging me now. What is this? Oh, the picture. That is an incredible mosaic that our national administrator, Mano Rodriguez, did for me as a present. And she gave it to me this year in Indianapolis. I was very moved by it. And there it is. It's me as a mosaic. So, very cool. Mind Lister, yeah, that's another good one. There's another good one, but you can't get it anymore. And I'm trying to get the rights so that my guy can put it out. Hold on a second, I'll tell you what it's called. Unfortunately, it's not. Yeah, Mind Lister, that's the one. Mind Lister. You can't get it anymore, so be careful. You don't erase it from your thing. I want to improve it and get it and make it come out better. And I can, but I have to find the rights to it. I don't just want to copy it. So there it is. All right. Anyone else? All right. Any other questions there? Because it is getting a little. I'm working on a second column for MUM. I'll let you know about that. It hasn't been approved yet. It's been semi-approved, but I haven't submitted it yet. It's called Shopping for Magic. And I go into regular stores and pick out stuff to create props for things. So far I've been at a Home Depot, a Michael's Crafts, a grocery store, a CVS, and I want to get about 6 or 7 of those before I submit it. Kind of a neat idea. So there you go. Did I miss anything here? I have a new children's trick coming out. I'm going to premiere it at the Magic Castle, and once it goes there, then I'll do it. It's called what's it called? Let me tell you. We just came up with the title the other day. We never put out anything unless we test it out. So, Bag of Gifts. That's what it's called. Bag O Gifts. So watch for it. You'll see. I was showing it to some people, and they were blown away. I want to ask you before I go. Have any of you seen my Pepper's Ghost Illusion? You're There. Have you looked at it? If you want, I can give you the backstory of that before I go. It's a good way to put it. Have any of you seen it? So let me tell you the backstory just so I can put it in record. So I had an idea for a Pepper's Ghost. It's called You're There. Y-O-U-R-E there. T-H-E-R-E. Let's see, hey John, can you pull up, I don't know if you can get to it, the You're There teaser. It's on YouTube. So let me tell you about this. I had an idea for a trick. And my initial idea was a comedy routine in a little box, a little clear box, and an animated rabbit would be inside, using a Pepper's Ghost kind of thing. And we'd do this card trick, and the rabbit would throw up cards from out of the box and things like that. And I did it. I thought about it, and I worked on it. And after about 6 months, it was going nowhere. And I realized I have enough comedy in my show, and it's not going to work out. So I scrapped the whole thing for 6 months. I made the box and everything. It wasn't working out. So I'm a big music guy. I love listening to music. I have thousands of songs on my phone. I was going through, and I'm a big Broadway guy, so I have all the, thanks, John, I have it, Broadway actresses and actors who put out albums. I have their obscure albums and things. And there's a lady, a terrific Broadway actress who had an album, a vanity album. She sang a song that she wrote. And I listened to the song, and it's a very depressing song. It's about her husband has died, and she feels that he's still there. He's always there in the room. And she played it, and she sang it. And I'm in bed, and I'm listening to it. And it clicked in my head, and I said, wait a minute. This is it. This is my box trick that I need. And you may not know my background. I'll tell you very quickly. My grandmother danced with Rudolph Valentino in silent films. My grandfather was a builder and assistant to Houdini. And my mother was a nightclub singer who sang up and down the East Coast and sang with Count Basie. So I've got a big background there in entertainment. And I thought, oh, I could use this song and bring back my mentors, my relatives, and tell the story of my family, and as an homage and to honor them. I'd never done a serious piece like this before, and I didn't because I didn't want it to be hokey. How many of us, I dreamt of snow, and you don't realize it, but this is my real life. So we're driving in the car. This is like a year and a half in of trying to figure out this rabbit. And we're driving in the car, and I said to my wife, I found the song. I found the routine. I think I can do this now. And I play the song for her in the car, and she says, that is the most depressing song I've ever heard. And I said, yeah, but now my son is a music arranger in Hollywood. I said, yeah, but Eric could take the song and he could make it more uplifting and hopeful and promising. And we have some ideas for it. So I called my son and I said, I'm sending you a song. I want you to listen to it. I'm thinking about it for a trick, and I want you to arrange it. And he writes back to me, and he says, that's the most depressing song I've ever heard in my life. So I called him back, and I said, here's my thought. And we discussed it for an hour. A 3.5-minute song. What I'm hoping to get out of the trick, and what I'm going to do, and how the illusion's going to work. And he said, okay, I think I understand. He said, let me get the musicians together, and we'll come up with a piece. So in the meantime, while he's doing that, I'm working it out here. And now it's 2 years. 2 years have gone by. And it's not working. It's just not giving me the... And I need help. And so something clicked. Something went wrong in my creating of it. And it worked. All of a sudden it worked. So now I'm calling magicians around the world on Skype. And I'm saying, take a look at this. And they're watching it on Skype. And here's what they're doing while they're watching it. They're watching it. And the first ghost appears, and they're going, what the heck are you doing? And they're sitting there, and when it's done, they're speechless. And they're saying, that's incredible. Is that really happening, or is it trick photography you're doing on the thing? And I'm writing Alan Watson and Mandy Davis in England, and I'm showing them. And as it's being created, I keep showing them. And it's getting better and better and better. And finally, you know how it's now 3 years. 3 years. and I'm working the Magic Castle. And I say, you know how you get into a project and you're into it so deep that you don't have any perspective on it. You don't know if this is good or you're just used to it. So I started showing this to other magicians around the world, friends of mine. And I'm getting a lot of positives. And I said to my wife, all right, we're going to do this at the Magic Castle in 2 weeks. Are we going to make fools of ourselves? And my wife said, either they're going to politely applaud it and smile, or you're going to get standing ovations. Well, 21 shows in the parlor, 18 standing ovations later, I got something. And you know it's a good trick when somebody says to you, when the magicians are saying as they're leaving, are you going to be selling that? You going to be putting that on the market? You going to be doing that? And so I'll be doing it again. This will be my third time at the Magic Castle. October 10th through 16th. 10th through 16th. So if you're out there, come on and see it, and you'll see it live. I did a teaser ad for it, and John, if you want to play it, you're welcome to. Did it at PCAM, and after the show, I spent an hour talking to people about their families. That's how it touches people. So if you get a chance at a magic convention, or if you're at the castle next week, or in October, come on by and see it. I hope you get a chance to see it. It's something special. Yeah. Oh, you saw it at the castle. That's nice. It's a great room to do it in, isn't it? And by the way, you didn't hear the singer, but the singer who sings the song, it's a very haunting song, is with Postmodern Jukebox, if you've seen their clips. Her name is Aubrey Logan. She's a tremendous jazz singer, but she did a tremendous job on this song. It brings tears to everybody's eyes. So I hope you get to see it someday. I have not put the trick up on YouTube. People ask me to. And the reason is because it looks phony. It looks like camera trickery, and it's not. So there you go. Boy, did we spend a long time together, and we just touched the surface. So Joel, John, I'm going to give it back to you. I hope this was worth it. I hope you learned something today. I hope I can help you. And anytime, you can write to me anytime. I'm an open book. I'm extremely approachable, and I don't know everything, and I learn from everybody else. So
Bruce, this was fantastic.
Keep spreading the wonder.
This was really great, Bruce. I mean, bravo. Really a great session. A lot to learn. And just so everybody knows too, this will be up in the next couple of days on the MagicSam.com website. So
I'm going to be working on it right after we get done. Hopefully I'll have it fully mixed and ready in the morning, so you might be able to get it. So yeah, anything that you missed, or you just want to go through it again, because it was 100 minutes of information, which is fantastic.
Yeah. There was a lot here. There was a lot of stuff here.
Longest meeting? We'll make it the longest meeting.
Let's call this part 1 of your 13-hour lecture series. And remember, if you guys want to be a part of this next month, and you want to share a routine that you're working on, have something that you want to teach us about, email me and try to get it to us by October 8th, I think was the date Joel said. Also, somebody that we had lecturing today made this. This is the Dean Schindler coin. It's amazing. It's a beautiful piece of work. Just another thing Bruce does. This man is ridiculous. In fact, I'm so taken with Bruce that when we were at the convention, he could have told me anything and I was going to buy it. Like, just, oh, you know everything, so yes. So he comes to Joel and he's like, hey guys, I got this idea for the lecture. And he brings his box, and real serious, he's like, it's amazing. I just found this. It's I think a perfect close-up box. He opens it up, starts describing this stuff, and then we realize it's the coffee box from the room. He's just messing with us. But I was like, yeah, I need 3 of those, Bruce. Thanks.
How many stolen boxes were taken from that hotel?
No, I didn't take one, no matter what anybody says.
That's so funny. I forgot about that. That's true. The coin, just so you know, the coin was created using an app called Adobe Create. And I took George's picture. He didn't even know it. And we put it in Adobe Create, which is an app on the iPhone that takes any photograph and turns it into a drawing. And then I brought the drawing into Photoshop and I layered it so it would come out like that. So it came out really nice. I was very happy for it.
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
And each coin has a number on the edge of it that's real subtle, but it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Nice. Thanks
Well,
for
thank
coming.
you again.
We're just talking about next month there too. Just so everybody knows too, a lot of people are coin people. A lot of people are silk people. You like to do ropes. Submit anything that you like to do. You know, if you want to, perform it and teach it. This is your club, folks. So, you get to perform it and you get to show it. So we love.
And we want to see it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you again, Bruce, so much for everything. I will be bugging you frequently for the rest of my life. Thanks.
Right. Nice being
Don't
here.
forget you can record on the Apple iPhone, which we do. So it actually does work really great. So until next time, everybody, take it easy now. Thanks for coming.